All right, I would like to call this meeting to order. Thank you for everyone's patience with the technology. Are there any changes that we need to make on this agenda? We're going to take off number 18. Yes. So I need a motion to approve the agenda as it is.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 3, we are going to open the 2019-20 budget hearing at this time.
Basically, with our budget, we only have a couple of places that we can put things in. Otherwise, everything is entered for us at the state level. We can put some things in the instructional support levy, voted physical plant equipment, the modified supplemental amount to drop out, and that is really about it.
Cash reserve.
Oh, cash reserve, yeah, thank you. And I do believe we had the ability to do that yet this year. Which form am I looking for here?
What are you looking for?
The one with the published. There it is. Oh, there it is. Basically, what we're looking at is property taxes are down about 2 cents from where they were last year. Former Allison Bristow at 12.219 and former Green District at 12.727. For a combined rate of about 12.5, and we'll have fiscal 20 and fiscal 21 where we still have to deal with that, and then the general obligation bond from the high school will be paid off, and then it'll go to one tax rate for the district. So basically, what we're looking at is going down about 2 cents per $1,000 of valuation on property. Our total requirements are about $11 million, a little over $11 million. That includes all funds, general fund, building funds, PEPL, instructional support, and basically everything that we do. Our general fund, I believe, is about $7 million for next year. Hold on, 7.6.
Worksheet 1.
Worksheet 1. Our maximum allowable budget is, well, I guess, total requirements with our ending fund balance. That's this year, right? Am I looking at the right column? Nope. Right here, right? 7.6.
That's going to be our expenditure. 7.6.
Okay, so this is our total requirements would be, what we get will be about $8.6 million. So, questions, comments, concerns? There's not they don't give us a lot of room to play with the budget anymore, which is good. And we try to, we're not a bank. We don't want to have to take in any more property taxes than we need to operate. It just doesn't make sense to stockpile money that we don't need.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that I'm just looking at the SBRC, did we ask for that 377,773?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then this next, these are just really rough
Estimates.
Yeah.
estimates. Will we get more money?
For Medicaid?
Yeah, well, I'm just thinking when your special ed decreases, sometimes the money goes to other schools, will the actual money that we get increase or will it stay the same?
So the money goes to other schools, it's split out, but it's not that much money that we get.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Because I'm wondering if that'll end up being more like,
High, closer to that.
or more.
I would venture to, it'll depend on how much Medicaid we can bill for.
Mm-hmm.
I do know next year that the Medicaid's starting in October goes from 40.06 that we'd have to reimburse the state, that portion of what we get, drops like 38 point something. So we'll get to keep 2% more of the money, which isn't a lot, but you know, in a couple $100,000, the whole grand scheme of things, it might help.
Because if you look at, like, I'm
Which
looking
one are you
at
looking
unspent
at?
authorized budget worksheet,
Okay.
in the SBRC modified supplemental amount number 2, so that's like increased money that we requested because we overspent.
Okay.
So this year, it was like nearly 400,000, let's say. So I would estimate next year we'd be at that level, which then you add, like, let's say you add another 250,000 and take away from there, and then increase over, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know that we can
Well,
really
so
adjust.
What we try to do
for it.
when we work our budgets out is we try to estimate our revenues low and our expenditures high, so then we get those pleasant surprises at the end of the year. So
Right.
that's kind of why we figured low. Plus, last year was a little bit of an anomaly with some of the things, but the costs of placing kids in outside facilities is also going up. So because we have to pay the actual costs of that.
And that special ed deficit won't affect this bottom line down here.
No.
Because
Oh,
we can
okay.
ask for that spending authority back in the, after
Right.
I do the CAR.
Right.
So it's kind of a wash for this balance.
But then, when we ask for that back, we get that through property tax.
Correct.
But that's what we're doing right now. We don't have to do it.
Right.
We don't have to get the actual cash, but we get the spending authority for it.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
So we're just asking for the authority to use it in case we need it. We're not actually asking for the money.
When you do this, when we approve it in the fall, when we approve that SBRC for the special ed deficit in the fall, we're just asking for the,
Authority at that point.
yeah. This time of the year is when we ask for the cash
Yeah.
to back up that authority.
And if our property taxes were going up, I would say let's back that off a little bit. But since our property taxes are going down a little bit, we should ask for it.
So,
It's like asking the bank for a bigger balance on your credit card. Doesn't mean you have to spend it.
Right.
But if you don't have it, you can't spend it.
right.
And when our unspent balance drops, you know, like this year, we're gonna drop because we had to add the extra first grade and the paras and stuff. And it drops really fast, and then it's gonna take us 2 or 3 years to build that back up. So we don't wanna take out any more than we have to. We wanna build in as much as we can without beating up our taxpayers.
Mm-hmm.
Because we could have asked for 398,000 on cash reserve, and we're gonna ask for 300,000, so. Just so we can keep that property tax the same as what it was last year, or as close as I could get it.
Mm-hmm. Any questions from the audience members? Any other questions amongst the board here? I do think it's fairly, I mean, the numbers, there's not really much you can do with them. And we work within those, in that, to stay within what we're projected here. All right, well, I'm saying that then, if there's no other comments, I'm gonna close the budget hearing. Okay. Review and approve the minutes from March 11th, 2019. Any changes at ABCs? To bring that up for everybody. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
No second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, and minutes are approved. Financial reports.
While you guys are looking through the bills there, general fund, we have a operating balance right now of 1.36 million. Pepple's about 53,500. Save 1 cent sales tax, 413,793. Debt service, 39,360. Management, 181,941. Nutrition, 81,245. Activity, 87,626. Trust and agency, which is scholarships and a few other things, is 129,153.
I have a couple of questions. The 4,500 for Cove equipment, what was that one for?
Planner, it's coming out of the FFA fundraising money.
Okay. And then 2,300, it said garage door graphics, is that up at the
That's at the
new-
high school, the
at
shop.
The high school, the shop?
Yep, that was still part of that project there, so.
Okay, and then, it says FES website hosting, it was 3,500.
SOS socks.
That's
Yeah.
our school district website, yearly cost.
So that's just annual cost?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the one, it said DHS, that was like 17,000?
That's our portion of Medicaid that goes back,
The Medicaid.
or the state portion of the
Yeah.
Medicaid that we got.
Okay, and then the 929, it says security maintenance, and I was just wondering if that's under warranty, if that's new equipment, or what that was for.
Security equipment,
Yeah.
that was cameras. We had issues with cameras and they sent somebody out. And we are no longer with them.
Was that under warranty?
No,
Any of that
it
cost?
wasn't.
Okay. And we're no longer with that company?
No.
That's all I had.
Any other questions? All right, I need a motion to approve the financial reports.
I'll make a motion.
Second? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Let's see, public items of discussion.
I didn't get anything from the
Nothing? Board items of discussion. Approved 2019-2020 budget. This will be a roll call.
I would just recommend that we approve the budget as it was presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the 19-20 budget as presented.
Second?
I'll second it.
Eric,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Liz.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, Amanda, forgot.
Yes. Okay, next is the budget guarantee.
The budget guarantee is just something as we decline in students, it allows us to have basically 101% of what we got last year. It's a one-year deal each time, but it allows us to not feel the loss of students all at once. So we don't have to bear that impact all in 1 year.
And that comes from,
It's all part of the state and the budget.
from property tax, I don't know. Or this
I
one.
I don't think so. I
It's
think
just
that's
like-
part of
it's-
your,
It's just part
it's
of
part of the funding formula.
Yeah.
It's all
They give
included in there.
us, I know we get
Let me look.
this 1 year,
Yeah.
and then after that, we're down to our exact count, or give or take, if it were.
Yeah, depending
So
on
it's
where
a
you're at.
one-time thing?
Yeah, then it's something, I mean, we do it every year, but it's for 1 year at a time. It used to be a longer term thing, and they've changed that.
It's just in the regular program district cost, so.
It just keeps us
It's
from
30.
feeling the full brunt of the loss of kids at one time.
So it's 30,000, 852 is what it would be for fiscal 20. Okay.
And just, as part of that, our actual new money for next year is actually, I think it's negative $1,200. So the money we get from the
Is that
state,
too bad?
no. I know some of our neighboring districts are losing
It'd be better.
$50,000 to $100,000, so,
Right.
But it's all more under.
yeah.
Okay, I need a motion to approve a budget guarantee.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget guarantee.
Second, roll call.
Liz,
Yes.
Amanda,
Yes.
Lori,
Yes.
Bobby,
Yes.
Eric.
Yes.
Thank you.
Approve adult softball league.
Just been requested again from Robin Chisholm that they be allowed to have the softball league that they had the last couple of years up in Green. stipulations that we've had the last couple of years that they follow all the board policies and laws. So.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I didn't really
I didn't
get
get
too
any
many
complaints.
last
The
year.
first year we got some complaints, but last year I didn't get any.
Okay. I need a motion to approve the softball league.
I'll make a motion.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Let's see, motion carries. Approve the list of graduates.
We have a list of graduates there. As of this time, I believe they are all meeting our criteria. I would recommend that we approve the list of graduates, pending that they all meet the requirements for graduation set forth by the state and the school district.
We can be bribed.
I think he was talking to you more.
So I need a motion to approve this list.
I'll make a motion to approve the list.
Second?
Second time.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Great job.
And I would like to
Seniors
point
that are
out
here.
that that's
Good
not
luck.
all seniors. 3 of those students are graduating at the end of their junior year.
Wow.
Keep up the good work.
We approved that, I believe it was last month or
Mhm.
February.
Yeah. Personnel.
Okay, we'll do resignations first. I have resignations from Travis Miller from junior high social studies and head varsity baseball, Dustin Luderman, Title I, Matina Clark from junior high school guidance, and Adam Holm from junior high football. Contracts, I have John Jones for junior high social studies, head varsity boys basketball and junior high football. Ryan Black for 4th grade, Jordan Vanderloop, head varsity football coach, Adam Holm, assistant varsity football coach, and Jeff Sterling, assistant varsity football coach. And then substitutes, Rose Edwards for associate and cook, Taylor Myers as associate, Rodney Mulder as a bus driver, Matt Kuhn, teacher, pending paperwork, and Irene Richards, associate secretary, pending background check. I would recommend that we accept all those personnel recommendations.
Are we gonna vote on them all at once? All of them together?
Yes.
And grade teacher?
Yes.
I'm guessing. And that's a new student or coming from?
He's currently teaching middle school in Waterloo.
Okay.
He interviewed and I thought Mrs. Tracy was gonna offer the position to someone else and he came in and knocked the socks off in an interview, so
How many 4th grade teachers do we currently have?
he'll make the second one for next year.
And how many students do we have in 4th grade total?
50 some, 40 to 50 some.
You'd be replacing a retired teacher.
Yeah, he'll be replacing Mrs. Sheila.
Okay. Okay. I need a motion to approve the personnel.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm not opposed.
Who seconded it,
I do.
All right. Now, I need a motion to go into closed session to discuss student discipline. Or, sorry, I don't know if you want to make it. Are you
Oh,
okay
sure.
making it? I just passed you it.
I move that North Butler Community School District Board of Directors enter into closed session as authorized by section 21.51E for student conduct hearing unless an open session is requested by the student or a parent or guardian of the student if the student is a minor.
And a roll call. Or second first.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call.
Liz?
Yes.
Amanda? Lori?
Yes.
Bobby?
Yes.
Eric?
Yes.
Thanks.
So I would kindly ask everyone to step out. I need a motion to approve the student discipline.
I'll make a motion to approve the student discipline.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Administrative reports.
Mrs. Holm, Mrs. Endelman, and Mrs. Tracy have their report attached. I don't have a whole lot. We've ran a lot of hard surface only bus routes. We worked with the county quite pretty close on that. And it looks like we're gonna get quite a bit of rain here again later in the week, so we'll kind of keep an eye on that. The county did request for a while that we keep buses off there and want to honor that. You know, they were pretty rough. And then last Friday we ran again because Travis called me Thursday night and said, hey, you know, I just about went in the ditch a couple of times. So don't like to do it, but I think sometimes it's necessary just because of
Those on Sunday day, they're bad, yeah.
yeah, well, and we gotta get school in. You know, we're already here till 7th of June, so I'm a little worried about Thursday and Friday this week. The parking lot at both bus barns are in the worst shape that I've ever seen them in. We had a bus stuck down here on Friday night with the frost boils. I've heard semis getting stuck in roads. I saw a picture today where a maintainer got stuck in the road with frost boils. I saw his driveway on Saturday where he got a semi stuck. So, you know,
Are we gonna get more gravel then? Like,
We
'cause
are.
I know
We've-
this one gets pretty bad out here.
we've already had actually, like 6 trucks in the green,
6 trucks.
and you can't even hardly tell it was there, so we're gonna let it firm up a little bit now before we do anything else
Until it
with
settles
it.
down, the gravel just disappears.
But then, yeah, then we'll get it in. So we're working on that. I was asked to and spoke at the I Love Green Day thing yesterday, give an update on the school. That's just a really nice little ceremony that they have to honor the people who have done really good things for the community, and they get up and spend school in different organizations. I was glad that they asked. I didn't stick around very long, so I wasn't feeling very well by the end of it. But, one of the things that goes with that, though, is that I have told the group that's worked on a strategic plan for the community of Green that if there's anything that we can do to support them as a school district, we'll do it. Whether that's having Mrs. Ackerman do videos for the community or different things that they need them for, or kids help them with websites or apps and things like that, that we'd be more than happy to do it. And you know, I'm part of that committee. But every time that they've had a meeting, I've had another meeting or a doctor's appointment, so I haven't actually been able to make them, so I just refer to the notes that I get back. But they're doing a really nice job of putting things together, and they've put a really nice strategic plan together for the city. We do have a new camera system, like I stated when Bobby was asking about some of the bills. We just downloaded different software through TC Networks now, who does our all of our IT things, and it's a much better system to use than what we've had in the past. And actually now Heather and Laura and I have apps that I have it on every computer that I have it on my phone, so if I get a phone call that, hey, something's going on, I can pull it up and check it no matter where I'm at. It's really a more vibrant system than what we have had, and it's a lot easier to use. And TC Networks has given us a lot better support than what we were getting through security equipment. So, I mean, they do everything else for us now, so it just made a lot more sense to go to it. Now, other than that, I really don't have a lot.
Okay. The principal's reports are on our web, there we can review later. Thank you. Board reflection of the meeting. I wanted to say one thing, just for everybody. Mr. Foster's gonna post this on his website tomorrow or some other day, but we do have a board policy when it comes to complaints, which we are always happy to hear from anybody at any time, any of us. Call us, email us, or whatnot. But we will always guide you if you have not followed the appropriate chain of command. There is such, meaning if you're a student and you're having a problem with a teacher or another student, you should talk to your teacher if you feel comfortable, or your principal at your building. If you're a parent and you're concerned about your child, you should talk to the teacher if it applies. If you're not comfortable, or if it doesn't apply to the situation, talk to the building principal. If that does not work out, then you need to talk to the superintendent. At that time, if the decision that was made and you were taught in your whatever plan, then come to the board and you'll come talk to all of us, not just one. But again, you can always voice your concerns and complaints to us, but we'll guide you down the appropriate path to follow. If you're a staff member and you have a complaint, you would talk to your appropriate supervisor first if you're comfortable. So if I'm looking at you over there, if you're in transportation and you had an issue, talk to Mr. Holm first. If you don't feel comfortable with that, depending on what building or what students you work with, you talk to the building principal. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you go to Mr. Foster, or if you have already done that and you don't feel like the person followed through or they didn't listen, then go to the next step. Same thing like a teacher, of course, talk to the principal at your building, and if that doesn't work out, then we pull in Mr. Foster as a superintendent, and we try to go down those paths because a lot of times things can get handled very simply, and we don't always know things, and we can't know things. We don't get involved with student discipline, and we don't get involved with staff discipline. So we let the administrators handle that, because if there is an issue, then you guys can come to us and we act as a jury. And we don't want to hear anything about it, so that we can be impartial at the time that you could come to us, and we may need to override the administrator's decision. But we have to give them a chance to hear the complaint and resolve the complaint before we get involved. So I just wanted you all to know that Mr. Foster is going to post the board policy, and he might post some other notes that are a little bit easier to understand, as if you had any concerns, please voice them.
What's
Because
that policy number, Liz?
the policy number, it's code 213.1. Because we're here, we want, our most important thing is the students first. So if anybody's in danger, students always come first. Always come first. Second is staff. So we want to keep everybody happy and safe, and we want everybody to learn, and we want to offer the best programs that we can. And in order to do that, we have to follow the board policies, and we have to all work together, which is what we're trying to do. So I just wanted to point that out. And I think we are doing really great things, and I'm so happy with our staff and everybody that I see here, all of these students that are going to graduate. I'm very proud of you all. Thank you for being a student at North Butler. Anyways, and that's all I have to say. Does anybody else have anything to say? All right, thank you all.
It's concert time.
Time for the concert, or go home, whatever you prefer. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it.
Make a motion
Good
to
night.
adjourn.
Oh, yeah, motion to adjourn. I'll second.